This lesson video covers topic 3.2, markup and markdown. This lesson video consists of 3 subtopics, including markup, markdown, profit and loss. By the end of this chapter, students should be able to explain retail price, cost price, markup and markdown, compute markup percent, compute markdown percent, compute gross profit, operating expenses, net profit, and break-even price. Many businesses compete with one another through markup and markdown of their products. As a result, consumers benefit as they are able to compare prices for the best option and have a choice of what to buy and where to buy. Product prices are marked down to attract more buyers and to sell off all stock. An important principle in retail business is the proper pricing of its merchandise. A wrong decision of pricing may lead to small profit or heavy losses. A retailer should be able to mark up his goods to obtain a reasonable profit or mark down his goods to clear all stock. Take a look on markup. The cost price is the original price of the goods paid by the retailer. The retailer must add an additional amount called markup to the cost of the goods to cover the business expenses and to generate a profit. Markup, also known as gross profit or gross margin. The sum of the cost and markup is the retail or selling price. In other words, markup is the difference in the retail price and the cost price. That is SP equal to C plus M, where SP stands for selling price or retail price, C stands for cost price, and M stands for markup. Markup is usually expressed as a percentage. It can be expressed as markup percent based on retail price and markup percent based on cost price. If the markup is based on retail price, markup is equal to selling price multiply percentage of markup. If the markup is based on cost price, markup is equal to cost multiply percentage of markup. Consider example 1. The cost price of an antique table is 5,000. What is the retail price if the seller wants a 20% markup based on cost price and retail price? 5,000 here is considered as cost, 20% here or 0.2 considered as percentage of markup. So let's solve. Given cost equal to 5,000. For A, to calculate markup based on cost price, percentage of markup must be multiplied with cost. Therefore, markup is equal to 0.2 multiplied with 5,000. From the formula of selling price equal to cost plus markup, replace the value of cost with 5,000 and replace the value of M with 0.2 multiply 5,000. Therefore, selling price is equal to 6,000. For B, to calculate markup based on retail price, percentage of markup must be multiplied with selling price. Therefore, markup here is equal to 0.2 multiplied with SP. From the formula of SP equal to cost plus markup, replace the value of cost with 5,000 and markup with 0.2 SP and solve for SP. So SP here is equal to 6,250 ringgit. So here we can say that the selling price of an antique table is 6,000 if markup is calculated based on cost price, and the selling price of an antique table is 6,250 ringgit if markup is calculated based on retail price. Example 2. A retailer purchased 200 kg of cucumber at 50 cents per kg. If he plans to make 40% markup based on overall cost, what is the selling price of the cucumber? The solution: calculate first the total cost of cucumbers. Since 1 kg of cucumber is 50 cents, therefore total cost of 200 kg of cucumbers is equal to 50 cents multiply 200 kg, which is equal to 100 ringgit. As markup is calculated based on cost, therefore markup is equal to percentage of markup multiply with cost, where percentage of markup is 0.4 and cost is 100. To calculate the selling price of the cucumber, apply the following formula: selling price equal cost plus markup, where cost is 100 and markup is 0.4 multiply 100. Therefore, selling price is equal to 140 ringgit. Here, we can say that the selling price of 200 kg is 140 ringgit and the selling price of 1 kg of cucumber is equal to 140 divide 200, which is equal to 70 cents. Now look at on markdown. Markdown is a decrease in the selling price. It is the difference between the old selling price and the new selling price. That is, markdown is equal to old selling price minus new selling price. Prices are sometimes marked down due to many reasons: to face stiff competition, to encourage purchase in bulk, to dispose of all damaged or obsolete stocks, and to close a line of merchandise. The markdown percent is based on all price and is expressed as follows: percentage of markdown is equal to markdown over all selling price multiply 100%. Next example, a camera listed at 300 was reduced to 250. What was the markdown percent? The solution: given all selling price equal to 300, new selling price equal to 250. So to calculate markdown percent, apply the formula of percentage of markdown equal to markdown over all selling price multiply 100%. As we may know, the formula to calculate markdown is all selling price minus new selling price. So percentage of markdown can be expressed as all selling price minus new selling price divided by all selling price and multiply 100%. Now replace the value of all selling price with 300 and new selling price with 250 and solve it. So the percentage markdown of a camera is 16.67%. Example 3. The markdown percent on a TV set is 10%. If the new retail price is 900, find the old retail price. Solution. Given new selling price is 900, percentage of markdown is 10%. From the following formula, percentage of markdown equal to all selling price minus new selling price divide all selling price multiply 100%. Replace percentage of markdown with 10% and new selling price with 900 and solve for all selling price. So all selling price of a TV set is 1000. Next subtopic, profit and loss. In this section, we shall discuss net profit and operating expenses. Not all business make money. A business incur operating expenses such as rent, lighting, wages, commissions, bonus, and other operating expenses. The markup must be able to cover the operating expenses. If markup is greater than operating expenses, net profit is achieved. However, if markup is less than operating expenses, loss is incurred. Thus, if markup greater than operating expenses, net profit is obtained. If markup less than operating expenses, loss is incurred. If the retail price just covers the cost price and the operating expenses, then it does not make any profit nor incur any loss. This price is called the break-even price. That is, break-even price is equal to cost price plus operating expenses. The markup equation, selling price equal to cost plus markup, can be expressed as follows. Selling price equal to cost plus net profit plus operating expenses, or in abbreviation, SP equal to C plus NP plus OE. Now let's solve example 4. A retailer bought a radio for 220 ringgit. Operating expenses incurred were 20% of the cost price. If the retailer made a 25% net profit based on cost, find A, the retail price, B, the gross profit, C, the net profit, D, the break-even price, E, the maximum markdown that could be offered so that there is no profit or loss, F, the net profit or loss if the retail price was 280 ringgit. Given cost of a radio is 220 ringgit, operating expenses of a radio is 20% of cost or 0.2 of cost, and net profit of a radio is 25% of cost or 0.25 of cost. To find the retail price of a radio, total up cost, net profit, and operating expenses. Replace the value of cost with 220 ringgit, net profit with 0.2 C, operating expenses 0.25 C. And also replace the value of C here with 220 ringgit and C here with 220 ringgit and solve the equation. So the selling price of a radio is 319 ringgit. To find the gross profit of a radio, total up operating expenses and net profit. Replace the value of operating expenses with 0.2 C, net profit with 0.25 C, and C with 220 ringgit. Therefore, gross profit of a radio is 99 ringgit. As given in the question, net profit is 25% of cost. Therefore, net profit is equal to 0.25 C or 0.25 multiply 220 ringgit, which is equal to 55 ringgit. To find break-even price, sum up costs and operating expenses, where cost is 220 ringgit and operating expenses is 0.2 multiply 220 ringgit. So break-even price of a radio is 264 ringgit. Maximum markdown is determined by selling price minus break-even price, where selling price here is 319 ringgit and break-even price is 264 ringgit. So maximum markdown is 55 ringgit. Calculate the difference between the given selling price and break-even price to determine whether the given selling price provide net profit or loss. As the given selling price is 280 ringgit and break-even price is 264 ringgit. So 280 ringgit minus 264 ringgit is 16 ringgit. Since the value is positive, therefore the selling price of 280 ringgit is provide 16 ringgit of profit.